And last time we learned about, I was trying to look for the file that we used. However, I did not get it. I don't know whether I misplaced or what I did. But the point is that we already have the file here that we can be able to use. And let me use this to train the other part. So I normally say that it's wise for you to join in or to log in using your mobile phone, and then you can work on the project in your machine. That way, you can be able to see what I'm doing on the screen if you are using your mobile phone. If you're not using your mobile phone and probably you are using your desktop or your laptop, probably you may not be able to see clearly what I'm doing on the screen. So last time I talked about the ear wheel, and I explained what the ear wheel is and what it has and how it can help you in a project and how you normally rotate the wheel for you to be able to say that this is quarter one, this is quarter two, this is quarter three, and this is quarter four. So that is number one. So today I want us to look at something else. We call not that one. Forget about the format. So I want us to look at the Kanban. I want us to look at the Kanban. And remember, we are supposed to use the Kanban. We are supposed to convert whatever we have here into what we call the Kanban. So in project management, there is the application of the Kanban. Kanban is just a Japanese word. It was used to schedule the activities. It was used for scheduling the activities and planning. So let me just open that particular file that we are using here so that we can convert it into what we call the Kanban, because it is the same document that we are supposed to transfer to Kanban. So let me close that and retain this. I want to retain this because this is the diagram, or rather this is the breakdown that we are supposed to use. So in our Kanban, we say that at the center we have the central idea. So from the central idea, we have what we call the branches. Sorry, it has disappeared. It keeps on misbehaving. So at the center, we have the central idea. Then from the central idea, we have what we call the the branches. So from the branches, we have the projects, or rather what we call the phases of the project. Then the phases of the project are further broken down into what we call now the sub branches. Remember, we said that the mind map has what we call the topic. It has what we call the topic. It has what we call the subtopic. That way, we are able now to get the real project and how we plan for it. We said that a sub task can be further subdivided into what we call the work package. And using the work package, then we can now be able to implement our project without what? Without problems. So I want us to convert this into what we call the mind view. What is the view? There is you're supposed to have them here on the home page. Mhm. They're hiding themselves. file, because they are here. Then where are they in the because Kanban is here, but let me try to see whether it will open. So under home we are supposed to have, they're hiding themselves. Oh, they are here. They are here in the view. So let me go back again. So under the view, that is the view tab, we are now supposed to convert this into what we call the Kanban board. So the Kanban board, I have said the purpose of the Kanban board, and because we have our project here, we are going to transfer our project into what we call the Kanban board so that we can be able to push all the activities that are in progress, all the activities that have been completed, and so forth. So the way it is, so from the plan, we agree that you can convert it into here wheel. Then from the here wheel, you can be able to adjust the dates, and you can be able to move all the activities in quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. So we are not going back to year wheel. So I want to open the Kanban. So from the Kanban, now let's see how activities are organized in the Kanban. So the central idea is here. This is our project. Now, it will help you to understand or to be able to follow the activities as they get completed. For example, need assessment. Once you are through with the need assessment, you normally take it to the last what? You normally carry it and drop it here. Because you are through with the, let's say for example, that activity, you are through with that. That is what? We can go back again. So this is our project. Remember that this is our project. You can do away with the photo, or rather the image. So this is our project. So we are transferring our project into what we call the Kanban board, such that if we are through with the distribution, we can say whether we are in progress, whether we have completed. So the way the system is right now, even if you have done monitoring and evaluation, you cannot be able to separate what we have here and say that you have completed this. But using the Kanban, you'll be able to separate this from what is in progress, what has been completed, and what has not started. So that is the work of the Kanban in project management. So once you open, you're supposed to hit Kanban like that. You open your Kanban like that. We wait for it to open. Now we have the central idea. So we have the topic, that is topic 1, procurement. I can try to do away with this because we don't have anything under that. Under this topic, we don't have anything, so I can delete it like that. This one, I can delete it like that as well. This one, I don't want it because it has nothing. So let me retain community mobilization. And any other topic that doesn't have anything, I can do away with it. I want to retain what we have. So I can delete this as well. So we have nutritional support, we have community resource mobilization, that is community sensitization. And so we are now in the board. So what normally happens here is, if an activity has not started, it's supposed to be here, not started. The activity has not started. For example, you can talk about data collection. Data collection. Data collection has not started. Data collection has not started. So the start date is when? Let's assume we are doing data collection for the project from today. So you can start today's date. You can put time if you like. When are you going to start that activity? You can also put the end date for this particular project. So you can adjust it. Let's say it is taking 7 days, so that is 17 days. Priority is normal. So completion, we can say that it is 0. We have not completed that activity, and you put it there. So the data collection is here, as you can be able to see. So we don't need this. We don't need this. We don't need this topic because it has nothing. I can as well delete this, even if it has an attachment. That kindly note that we shall not have a meeting today. I can also delete it, or else I can put information there. Let me also do away with this. So once you select, you hit delete. You select, you hit delete on your keyboard. We can select this and hit delete as well. We can select this and we hit delete as well. Kwani how many are they? Yeah, so that is it. So I can as well delete that and retain what I have here. So these are the activities that have not started according to the Kanban. They have not started. But if you think they have started or they are in progress, so what are you supposed to do? For example, data collection that I have added, I'll push it. I'll just drag it here. I'll drag it here. You carry with your mouse and drag it here. So what does it mean? Partially, if you look at this symbol here, there is an icon here. Half is white, the other one is blue. That means the activity has not been completed. It is still in progress. Distribution operations, you might say that this activity is still in progress. So you can move it there. Again, you can probably talk about procurement and logistics still in progress. So you can push it there. So using the Kanban, you'll be able to see all the activities that have not started because they're supposed to be categorized on one side. That is your left-hand side. Then at the center, we have the activities that are in progress. And at the end, we have activities that you have already completed. So that is the beauty of Kanban. And you can also show the outline. You can also show the outline here. For example, project, our main project is here. Once you select that, you can be able to see it there. You can adjust it the way you want. You can actually adjust it the way you want. For example, data collection, the dates are here, the dates. If we have need assessment is here. You can put the date for the need assessment. Once you double click, the date will technically appear. You can also suggest the end date. We have procurement, we have warehousing, we have distribution plan. You can see we all have them here. Community mobilization is here. We have community mobilization. It is there. So you can adjust it the way you want. If you think that it's community mobilization without sensitization, you can go ahead and delete it and you retain it. So you can be able to see that it is clearly shown on the board. So we have 3 boards. The Kanban has 3 boards. Board 1 not started, board number 2 in progress, and board number 3 completed. So what else are we supposed to do here? So if you want small, what you call small text, these are just small text. If you want medium, you can be able to see medium here. If you want small, so I want you to observe what is happening on this side. This table here, you can be able to put medium size. That is where the change is occurring. Large size, if you want them, they are here. Large size are here. If you want just medium, you put medium. Numbering, we already have the numbering. So there is nothing much about that. If you want to add the branches, you can add a picture. Remember, I've shown you how to add the pictures. For example, here, I may want to add a picture here. So we can try to add a photo in our Kanban. For example, project food distribution. So we can add a picture here. So you can add a text, you can add a branch. For example, you have a branch there. The branch is going to be below or somewhere close to the central idea. So I've shown you how to add that. So I want us to try to add a photo. Let's try to add a photo. So number one, before you attach something, always remember that you must select that particular activity where you want to do what? Some adjustments. Always remember that. So there is food distribution. So I'll select this food distribution. Then I want to add a photo. So I want to try to add a photo and see what is going to happen. So you can be able to see the photo is inside our board. So the photo is here. The photo is there inside what? Inside our board. So you can add as many as possible if you are presenting this report. Remember, we agree that when you're using Mindview, it is it is a good software for presentation. It's a good software for what? It's a good software for presentation. All right, we move on. So this is now what we have in progress. I'm assuming that we are through with distribution operations, because if you have not started, then definitely means that your activity might be in progress if it is not under what? Not started. So I can push distribution to say that I'm through with food distribution. And you can see that now it changes into, or it turns into a green color. So there is a tick here saying that that activity has been completed. So we can move this here. We can move this activity there. That is warehousing. Then after moving here, let's say we have completed this activity. We move it to what we call the completed board. These are the boards. Board number one completed, in progress. Board number two, board number one not started. So that is how the Kanban normally works. It will help you to understand how the activities are supposed to follow each other, or to know whether the activities are through or they are not done, and how you can just organize your activity. So basically that is how the Kanban normally works when it comes to Mindview. Any question on the Kanban? Any question on the Kanban? So you can do any other activity that we have been doing. You can do that full screen if you like. You can put in what you call full screen, because that is what we have been doing, full screen. You can exit the full screen. So let me hit escape. If I want to exit the full screen, I can hit escape. We don't have any other activities. We can check so these are basically the items that we have been talking about: pictures, putting what? Photos, and so forth. Detail level, we have level 1 here, level 2, level 3. So there is nothing much about the Kanban apart from what I've shown you. So there is nothing much. If you want to apply any topic focus, you can be able to do that. You can clear the focus and retain. What about design? You can pick any Kanban of your choice. Any Kanban of your choice. You can select any Kanban of your choice. So the layout depends on you. So you can pick any, like this. You can be able to see I have this. That is my Kanban, the form, the style, and so forth. So these are what? These are the what you call the levels of activity. For example, the low one has not started. The activity that has not started can fall under that category called low. Then no more, there are those activities that you have already started, and there are those activities that you consider as of high priority. For example, an activity like need assessment. Need assessment is of high quality. For example, you can put it here. It is of high quality. Priority. Probably you want to do the needs assessment before you do anything else. So that is of high priority. Something to do with warehousing, probably you can put it under this point here. You can just drag it here because it is not of high priority. That is according to me. But if you think it is of high priority, that then you can put it there. Remember that there are some activities in project management that are of high priority. What do I mean by that? When you talk about high priority activities, you simply means that these activities are supposed to start. They are supposed to be put at what? At the highest level, depending on the sequence of your activities, such that whoever that is going to implement the activities will be able to know that these activities are more priority. So let's start with this. We move downwards like that, like that. So if they are no more, they are not going to affect in any way the duration or completion of your project. Then you can put them under normal, or maybe low. So the priorities of your activities, you can categorize them under that. There is something we call unassigned. Sometimes you may want to assign an activity to a particular resource. So like this one, we are saying that it is not assigned. Remember that when we were now transferring this into Kanban, we had not assigned any role, because who is supposed to do needs assessment? This one, need assessment. Who is supposed to do? Who is supposed to do need assessment? Need assessment. Who is supposed to do need assessment? So you can see that the need assessment has not been assigned. And for example, we can put another one. Let's say data analysis. Data analysis. Let's assume we have data analysis here. So who is supposed to do data analysis? That is the question. Data analysis. Who is supposed to do this? Because I want to put it at the top here. I want to drag it at the top. Where is that activity? I want to drag it at the top. I want to push it up. Let's say this is more priority than the other one. So at the top here, because we were supposed to assign the duties. Every time you add an activity, you're supposed to assign duties. So we are going to see in the Gantt chart how we assign these roles. Like now, you can be able to see that we have symbols like image, saying that well, there is need for us to have a person who is supposed to do data analysis. But you see now we have not assigned this. We have not assigned this particular resource. So when you're adding this, you're going to see how we assign this in the other part. Is there any question regarding the Gantt chart? I mean, not the Gantt chart, sorry. What you call the Kanban. Do you have queries regarding the Kanban? Any question? So I think there is no any question because I cannot be able to see any question. So I'll go ahead with the other part. So I hope you are practicing this. Are you practicing this? Are you practicing this or not yet? You have not started. Respond to my question. Are you practicing this or not yet? Okay, we go to the other part. The other part is what? We have talked about Kanban year wheel. So let's talk about the timeline. No, not the timeline. We can start with the Gantt chart. There is no problem with the warning. No problem. So I am now converting our plan into what we call the Gantt chart. I am now converting our plan into what we call the Gantt chart. So this is the Gantt chart. What can you be able to see on the Gantt chart? What are some of the common features that you can be able to observe from this system and the other one that we worked on? Ni nini mnaona inafanana na the other one in the Microsoft project?
There is the start and the end date,
We have the start and end date. Good.
predecessors,
Predecessors,
resources,
resources.
and the calendar side.
We have the calendar side. Very good. Any other? Any other? Let me hear from Joyce. Joyce, what can you be able to see that is similar to what we did in Microsoft project? Joyce,
Project information.
like when you say project information, that is too general. Joyce, that is too
The
general.
the cost, the
Mm-hmm.
work hours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is
Yeah.
that is very true. We have the costs. Yeah, we were able to deal with the cost in Microsoft project. As you can be able to see, we have also what? Hours. Remember, we held hours because we were dealing with the employees. So the same Gantt chart that we had in Microsoft project is similar to what we have here. It's only that this one is very much open, very much open, and you can be able to see even the priority of what the tasks. So regarding the tabs, nataka muangalie huko juu vizuri. Angalieni huko juu, muniambie what can you be able to see inafanana na ya the other one in Microsoft project. Hapa nataka muangalie what you call the ribbon. Hapa Eric, yes, Geoffrey, the task and subtask, indenting them very good, indenting and outdenting them. Look at what we have here, indenting the tasks and outdenting the tasks. I told you if you got it right in Microsoft project, it will become much easier for you when it comes to project. I mean Mindview. When you are working on the Gantt chart in the Mindview, it is much easier because you have already done what much of Microsoft project. What else can you be able to see? Taka muangalie this one from here, kuanzia hapa mpaka huku mwisho. Taka muangalie keenly and you tell me what can you be able to see. We have auto shading and manual shading. Correct. Correct. What else? Very good. Project report. Eric, kwani Eric hakuna kitu anaona? Eric, hakuna kitu inaonekana?
Assigning resources.
Assigning resources. Assigning resources. What else apart from assigning resources? Eric.
Under
Angalia.
Gantt tools or even under view or
Yeah, no, under this the ribbon here. I'm talking about the ribbon here. Taka uangalie ribbon one by one hapa, one by one, angalia yote mpaka mwisho hapa, uniambie what do we have similar to what we had in Microsoft project.
I think the rest of it mentions the project reports, the indent and outdent.
They have not been mentioned. Actually, there are so many items they have not mentioned.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is the numbering scheme the same as WBS?
Of course, yes. Of course, yes.
So it's their numbering scheme.
We had it, numbering scheme. If you can remember very well, we had numbering scheme in Microsoft project. What else? Task information. Where is task information? Where is it? Yes, we have task information here. We have task information here. We have task information here. What else? There are so many things. Taka muangalie kinri muniambie what you have here because there are so many things that you have not mentioned. What is this? What is this? 0%, 25%, 50%, 75%. This one. What does it mean? When you see this in Microsoft project, when you are dealing with the Gantt chart, what does it mean?
Completion percentage.
Yes, yes. Completion of the task, the percentage of task completed. That is correct. Because remember, we say that once you complete a task, you do what? You go back to the system, you mark it as complete. How do you mark it? You normally use this. You normally use this. What about this? These ones. Angalieni hizi muniambia hizi ni vitu gani? We had them. Hizi ziko hapa. Hizi mbili ziko hapa. Kuna moja iko hivi na kuna ingine iko na X. Yes, very good Joyce. Ukitaka kujua umeelewa this software, angalia symbol yenyewe inakuambia what we mean by whatever that is there. Like now we said that anything that looks like a pin, ile pin ya kuweka makaratasi, hiyo ni linking. You are linking the papers, umefunga makaratasi. Then kuna linking and kuna ingine hapa iko na X. That means you are now unlinking the tasks. Remember there are similarities here. We have what? What about this? We have this one and these ones. These ones. Kuna bar imewekwa, what you call, what kind of sign is this? This one. Kuna bar imewekwa kitu hapo katikati. It's like I don't know whether we call it what do you call it, that sign? If you can remember, there is a time we say that if an activity doesn't have resources, we can make it inactive. We can cross it. Do you remember? When you are crossing the activity, making it inactive in a way that it can now wait resources. This is what we mean by this. Inactive task. You make the task inactive so that they no longer affect the schedule. What about this? We have this one. This one is to help you to see the Gantt chart. What about this? That is about today's date. Zoom in, zoom out. That is very common to everyone. Fit in all, you can fit the Gantt chart. There is the task information. Remember, the task information was very, very, very critical in our Microsoft project because you can see the resources, the predecessors. You can be able to see the activities that you have. You can be able to see what? The constraints. Look at the constraints. It's like we are doing repetition of what we did. Whether an activity is manually scheduled or not manually scheduled, priority here, we said that always the priority should be 500. Duration of warehousing and storage, you put it there. Remember the task, what? The critical path. We talked about the critical path, but this one is very different. In the other critical path for Microsoft project, it was a bar. It was a bar, critical path. Let me show you similarities here because I may not touch everything that we have covered here in Microsoft project. I just want you to remember that there are some similarities here in the Gantt chart. That is the Gantt chart for Mindview and the Gantt chart for Microsoft project. But I'll briefly show you how it works here in this one in Mindview. So let me open this. So the task information, the project, we had the project information, or rather they are calling it the task what? The task information. Here we have the task information. The numbering system is here, defining the code, which is similar to the other one. What else? Similar to what we have here. Under the view tab, we have seen the resources, how we assign this. So let's go back a little bit. We have the critical path. Yes, I wanted to show you the critical path. Where is it? Nimeipoteza ama imepotea pia. So let me open it again. I want to show you the difference here. Na kwa nini haionekani hapa kwa bar? Here na haionekani. So the critical path is we have the critical task here. The critical tasks are here. So you just select and it will automatically show you the critical task. But what about Mindview? Mindview, you can be able to see the critical word, the critical path. So it is clearly showing you the critical word, the critical path here. It is putting something under the bar. So when I unselect this, you can be able to see the bar goes back to their normal colors. Then under project information, which is similar to what we have, na mbona project haionekani hapa? Let me pin it in the taskbar so that we can be able to see it. So I wanted to look at what that is the project information. Yes, this tab here, we have it here. The project information is here. Under project, we have the project information. So the kind of information that you are going to get here under project information is almost similar to the kind of information that you are going to get in there under this project information. Here we get the start date and end date. We have start date and end date. But if you look at this, it will show as well the start date, finish date, the status date, and so forth. So this one is much advanced, as you can be able to see, because it will even show you the statistic of the project from this point. But for the Mindview, you may not be able to see the statistic of the project, unlike Microsoft. But you see it has what? Project information. We have the project calendar here. Similar to what we have here, we had the project calendar. That is the project calendar. Where is the project calendar? Under resource, we had our project calendar. Where is it? It was somewhere here, not reporting. Project calendar, where is it? Yeah, we have the calendar here, the calendar for our project. So when you open this, the calendar from the view, you see this calendar here for Microsoft project. But when it comes to Mindview, when you open the project calendar, what do we see? Can you see the kind of calendar that we have here? Hours per day, hours per week, days per month. And this one, we were able to see it in the back view settings of the Mindview. But I mean not the Mindview, but Microsoft project. But this one, what does it show? Project calendar. Under project calendar, you can be able to see what we have here. These ones. The number of hours, non-working hours. This was under project information. Under project information, coming up with the calendar for the resource. If you want the resource to change the time for the resource, you can be able to do that. So that is what we were able to do using the Microsoft project. But this one, we got it from project information. That is project. I think project, not project information, but changing working time. So this is where we got the calendars for each and every resource in Microsoft project. So when it comes to Mindview, you can be able to see what we have here, non-working. So under Microsoft project, we normally see this under what you call the legend, the non-working time. This is like a key. So where we have white, that means that is a working time. So the project calendar, there is no any other option because we have not added resources. But if we have resources, we can be able to see them here, like this one. The project calendar, you can be able to see all the resources that we have. Because the calendar normally affects the employees or the people who work in the project. So this one doesn't have any other because we have not added. Otherwise, they're supposed to have appeared there. The other part is about the project resources. The project resources. We have the project resources. This point, you can be able to add your resources. But when it comes to Microsoft projects, we were creating a resource what? A resource sheet. So through View, we came up with a resource sheet. So this is where we put all our resources. But when it comes to Mindview, when you click project resources, now you can be able to add the resources. You can be able to add your resources here. For example, you can talk about project manager. You can type project manager there, project manager. We have the project manager and you can hit OK. Then once you hit OK, you can now be able to see, or you can go back again to project resources. Then you put the rate, whether it is work or material. So it's actually giving us two options here. The total number of hours this person is supposed to work, the email address, and so forth. So when it comes to the resources here, you can assign a project manager there. So you see, it is the same as project management, because once you fill in the resource sheet, what do you normally do? The next thing that you normally do is to go back again. Let me go back to That is a Gantt chart and entry mode. So when you are in this particular stage, that is the entry mode, you can now double click the resource. Here we don't have resources. Let me check what we have here. So we have our resource names here. So this drop down arrow will help you to select the resources. As you can be able to see, the drop down arrow will help you to select the resources. Same to Mindview. When you click resources, you double click it, you can be able to see all the resources, but you added them through what? Project resources. So these like their what? Their resource calendar. It's like their resource what? Their resource calendar. And that is how you normally add this kind of resource. This kind of resource. Then we have project reports. So you can be able to see the kind of report that you are going to export here. So how many types of report here? We are given HTML. We are given what? HTML. So choose the pages to be included in the report. What exactly do you want to include in the report? So if you want to include the critical tasks, the executive reports, you can. So this is one. It is generating one report. Unlike Microsoft project that has broken down the reports. So when you click dashboard, you can be able to see various reports. But for the Mindview, it is going to export everything that you have. So it is up to you here now to select the kind of report that you want. For example, I can select, let me try to select what? Let me try to unselect this. I want to export only one report. The Kanban, I just want to export one report. That is the Kanban. So I am going to export Kanban. The file is ready. Do you want to overwrite it? We can say yes and try to see the kind of report that we are going to get here. So it's supposed to open online because it is what? A HTML. It is a hypertext transfer makeup language. So we can be able to see, in order to use the sprints of Agile project, you first need to associate sprints, icons, and so forth. So then you can track. So once you complete everything in this particular project, you'll be able to see all the reports here. But the way it is now, you can be able to see that the name of the project is what? Project, that is food distribution project. And we are using what? The Agile Kanbans. The Agile Kanban. So the report is supposed to appear here. So we can try to get another report. We can try to get another report. Let's see whether we'll be able to get any report here. So settings. I want to, probably I can check. Let me try to check all of them and export. So let's see the kind of report that we are going to get. Let's see whether there is anything, even though we have not completed this, but at least you can be able to see that we have a report. Food distribution is here. The need assessment is task number 1. So from the key, remember the Kanban, not started, in progress, completed. So this is Kanban. Then we move down here, you can be able to see the data analysis, the percentage of work completed, overdue tasks, you can be able to see them, they are here. Monitoring and evaluation, or repeat the process of exporting report. It's all right, I'll repeat. So we have all the reports here. So what the system normally do, that is the Mindview, it normally categorize your report. For example, the executive reports, we have the overview. If you want to see the critical, if you want to see the tasks, resources. So let me repeat the process again. I've said that you have already completed your Gantt chart. Let's assume you have done warehouse, it is complete, it is 100%. So assume you mark it as 100%. I'll check this, mark it the way we used to mark the other one. There is no difference. Let's assume that we have completed these activities. Let's assume that they are at 100%. They are at 100%. I'm assuming they are now at 100%. Others at 75%, 50, 40, etc. So assume you have completed that. Then you want to export the report. So there is this option here at the corner, that is project reports. I've said that this normally export your report into what you call HTML. However, if you want to export this, we agree that you can export anything the way you want. For example, you want a PowerPoint, you want Word, you want what, but these are the final reports. So you are supposed to hit settings. You're supposed to hit settings to select the kind of report, the kind of report that you want. For example, if I don't want any report here, I can export nothing. If I want executive report, I'll just check executive reports. If I want this, let me select all of them and I hit OK. Then there is this option of exporting. So you can export your HTML report where I want. For example, the desktop. Let me say the desktop. So I export the report. So the report is going to open here. But you see there is an option of, you are given the option of printing your report if you like. The option of printing your report. So what I was saying is that this system normally categorizes your reports. For example, here we have executive reports, we have the project, the author of the project, the date, the end date, and also we have the resources. So the resources will appear here. Remember, I have only added one resource. That is the project manager. So when you add more and more and more, you can be able to see them. This is supposed to be as large as possible. So this is the project calendar. You can be able to see the project calendar has what? It has the days, it has the number of hours, and it has time. Then we have the task status report. So the project is food distribution project. The subtasks are there. So under need assessment, it simply means we have only one activity there. Procurement, one activity. Storage, one activity. If we can get a complete project, I wish tunaweza pata a complete project. Uone vile hii kitu inakuwa smart. This thing is very nice. Very, very nice. We have coordination and stakeholders. One, so a total of 10 tasks. So this is depending on what? Depending on what you have placed under what you call the major activities, minor activities, and so forth. Then we have summary tasks. These are the need assessment at 100%. It is complete, as you can be able to see in the report. Distribution at 75%. We have data collection is half at 50% here. We have data analysis at what you call 100%. Then we move down here, overdue tasks. Overdue tasks. We have one, distribution operation. It is overdue. Imepita siku eh? Aya, we have the critical tasks, the task that can affect your project, the task that can affect the end date of your project. Tumepewa mbili, data collection which is in progress, and we have what? So the critical task is just one, as you can be able to see on the screen. We have one critical tasks, and that is the end of that executive report. What about overview? We want to see summary tasks. You hit summary tasks. If you just want to see the critical task report, you can just hit it. So executive report will give you everything. If you want to see milestone, you can have milestone there, but we don't have them. Remember I said a milestone should have 0 duration. Calendar is there. Tasks, you can see the task list. They are here, as you can be able to see the task list, and you can explore this way. You can use the bar. The total cost for need assessment is 100. Remember, I have not added any cost whatsoever, and that is why you can be able to see the total cost is 0%. How do we put the total cost? I have shown you. Rate ya project manager ana work siku ngapi, umemwassign kazi gani, that is what is going to give you the cost. Remember, because the cost depends on the duration of the employee or the duration of the human resource and the rate, etc. So if I go back again to the Gantt chart and put the project manager here, for example, the project resource, because this person falls under project, let's say the duration of this person is how many days. So this activity is going to take how many days? Let's see whether we are going to have the cost. Need assessment to assign project manager. It's going to go for 10 days. So it's supposed to be done by project manager. So the number of hours have changed, as you can be able to see. And I want to go back again to the resource and put the rate for this particular person per hour. I'm assuming this person is supposed to be paid 7,000 per hour. So I want us to go to our report. I want us to go to our report here, and I don't know, I have to export the report again. Let me export the report again so that we can be able to see whether there is what? There is any cost. So I go to report, export it the way it is. I want us to find out whether there is any cost related to that particular resource. So we have the tasks, task status, we have task list. So I want us to check the cost. Need assessment. Can you see? Can you see need assessment? Why has it changed? It has changed because we have a resource called the project manager here. The constraints are as soon as possible. Remember the constraints. If you don't change the constraints, the default constraint in this project, whether you are using Mindview or Microsoft project, they always pick as soon as possible. So the project, I have added the duration, which is 10 days for need assessment. The rate is 7,000. So this person is going to work for 10 days. And remember, you also need to set the what? You also need to set, you double click this, it's supposed to give us the resource. We can click the resource. There is something we are supposed to change here. That is, I'm trying to change the number of hours. Assume this person is working for 40 hours. So the project calendar. So this person is working more than 8 hours per day. So from the project calendar here for this person, I'm assuming that they are working for 9 days. So I want you to observe whether the cost will change. Observe whether the cost will change in the Mindview. So this person is working for more than 8 hours in a day. We know normally a project manager is supposed to work for 8 hours in a day according to the system. But if this person is working for 10 hours in a day, so in a week this person will have worked for, let's say 50. Is it 50? 50, that is 10 times 5. So this will change it to 50. So I want to see whether the cost will move from 560 to a different cost. So days per month, they should be 20. So I want us to export the report and see whether this will affect this. So we go to the task. We have the task list here. So this did not change, did not affect our project manager, because it has already been defined by the 8 days that this person has worked. So warehousing 0.8 and so forth, but we don't have what? We don't have the cost. So still on the same, we can be able to see completed task. They are here. Need assessment completed. Need assessment at 100%. We have logistics 100%. Warehousing 100%. In terms of priority, it was not a priority. Remember our Kanban. This was not a priority to us, warehousing. Remember our Kanban. We put the warehousing under what? Low. We have community mobilization. Community mobilization. I hope it's not going to disappear. Community mobilization. That is at 100%. Normal. M&E was under normal need assessment. High. Priority was very high. We needed to start with the need assessment. Then we have task. That is task overdue. This one is distribution. It is overdue. That is supposed to be completed anyway. What about the resources? Let's look at the resources. We have only one resource, project manager. Only one resource. Remember to add more resources. Let's check the resource cost. You can be able to see that the need assessment where we have project manager, the project manager is costing us 560. And because the task is at 100%, that means he has consumed all the resources. What about workload? Do you have workload? The project manager is now at the center. So there is what? There is some sort of workload here, as you can be able to see. It is at the center, project manager. So the hours difference, workload index 100%. Let's see whether we have delays. No. Over allocated days, not really. We have accountability. Accountability in terms of what? The number of hours this person has worked against the rate at which this person has been paid. So this is complete 100%. The workload index is at 60%. So hours required 80, hours available, that is 80. So there is no any difference. There is no variance in terms of hours. So agile Kanbans, we don't have it there. In numbering scheme, show numbering scheme, we have selected. So that is basically how you get what? You get a report. And I have said that you can get a report and you can print that report. You can print it. So this is the option of printing that report. If you don't want to print that report, you can save it as PDF if you like. For example, I can save it on my desktop. Let's see. Supposed to ask me where to save that work. Yes, this one. So I'm assuming that this is our report here. Let me type report 1. Report 1. That is Mindview. Mindview. We save it there. We want to open it in terms of what? PDF. So you can just open it like that. Where is it? Is it here? Because you may want to do presentation to the stakeholders. So that is why you need report. Always have reports. So these are our reports. You can be able to see clearly our report is here. And this is the task list. This is the task what? The task list. Remember, it is not filled because I have not added any details. So you can go ahead and now present it using your projector and so forth. So any kind of report, you can basically pick it from this point, because you have several options. Even if you are exporting it in form of HTML, you can be able to see that you can print it. Executive report, if you want resource cost, you can go ahead and print it. So it gives you that option. So that is basically what you call the the Gantt chart. So you can be able to adjust it the way you want, etc. So add the resources the way we normally add the resources in Microsoft project. Predecessors, you can add them. Remember, the predecessors depend on what? They depend on the task ID. For example, this one, you can say that the predecessor of this task here is number 1, so you can have your number 1 there. A summary cannot be linked to the subtasks. This is a summary. So let's put this warehousing. For example, we put number 3 here. We have number 3 there. We have this one is what? Community. The predecessor is this one. We have coordination. The predecessor is number 4 here. You can just put it there. So you can be able to see what is happening. So the way we did to this, you can simply add the days. If you want the days, you can deal with them. If you want weeks, for example, those who want weeks, you can put 9 weeks. So you can see the week. So the Gantt chart is building up the way we did, exactly the way we did to the other one. So if an activity is not completed, you can put 0. If an activity is at 10, 5, blah, blah, you can put, let's say 15%, you can put it there. If an activity is at 14%, if an activity has not started, you put 0. And so for the resources, you add the number of hours, you put them there. And you also interact with this, because it is also important to interact with any tab. Design, the way you want the Gantt chart to be, you can change it. You can just change it to look like the way you want it to be. If you want it to be blue, to have bars, red bars here, and so forth. So design format, those are not so important. Color fill, you can put the color fill that you like. If you want black, you can just have the black color here at the top. So you have the indicator column. So once you interact with this, you realize that it is the same as the other one. For what? The other one for Microsoft project. Can you see, is there any difference here? The difference is that everything under Mindview is very open to everybody. Ni kitu tu unaona direct, unlike Microsoft project imeficha vitu zingine. This one is direct to the point, and resources are there, work, cost, everything is on the screen. That is so still under this we have the what else? Nothing. We have nothing else here. I don't think there is anything to discuss here about the Gantt chart. So let me talk about the final part, that is the timeline. So I can also change what is in the Gantt chart into what we call the timeline. So you can be able to see in June we are going to do how many activities. We have the activities here. There is a way we can expand this. Let me adjust this a little bit. So this is the time. Remember, we had the timeline in Microsoft project. Let me show you. The timeline in Microsoft project was under, why is the timeline? Resource task. It's supposed to be under tasks. This timeline, do you remember this? This timeline here now, where we have the date and the activities. The date and the activities below. The date, activity, the date, activities, under timeline. It is the same as this. It is the same as that you'll be able to. So on June, what are you supposed to do? Nothing. June 24, that is date 10. We have nothing to do here. We have something that is on date 12. Date 13, we have an activity on 13th. Here we don't have an activity. As you can be able to see, it is not changing. I want you to observe where my mouse is, and you look at the rectangle there that we have 10/06/2024. So there is nothing that is changing. But when you reach here, you'll be able to see that it has now started adding dates, meaning there is an activity that is going to happen somewhere there. There is an activity. So the project is starting somewhere here, moving this way. So let me show you. If you want to expand this, you can just expand it. You can just expand it by clicking the plus sign here. We have the plus sign. Expand it to see what is going to happen. You can adjust the bars here. So the project is ending on August. Is it August? Yeah, it is. The last date is August. I can be able to see August 28. We have August 27 here. So that is coordination with the stakeholders. According to this, coordination with the stakeholders is the one that is at the tip of the calendar. So hii ndio activity ya mwisho kabisa. There is no activity. So let me put it in a way that we can be able to see it. Taka tuone kama tutaiona yote. Let me adjust it a little bit so that you can be able to see. How am I adjusting this? I'm just scrolling my mouse when clicking control. So this is the timeline. So this project is going to run for only in the year 2024. So the first activity is starting here. The first activity is starting here, and the project name is food distribution. It is here, and you can be able to see all the activities. Like now we have that is June. We have an activity. Let me expand this. So procurement is happening on August 28. If you think that this activity is not supposed to happen on this particular date, and probably activity 9 is supposed to come for activity 8, you can just exchange them like that. If you think that data analysis, which is in June, is not supposed to be here, you can just adjust it a little bit. Or probably activity number 8 is supposed to start before, or number 2 to be here. Number 2 to be here. Now it's not moving, meaning that it's supposed to be there before the project start date. So it is giving me a warning that the project must start. The project must start for me now to move the activity. So this is the timeline that we have in the Gantt chart. So you can be able to see everything clearly on your timeline, and you can be able to see even the date. You can adjust it if you like. You double click it. For example, here we have a topic. If you want to adjust anything inside that, you can write here. For example, we can talk about employment. Let me add employment there. Employment. Employment is there. When is it supposed to start? Or it's supposed to take, for example, 5 days. Priority is, let's say it's more priority. It is at 0%. It has not started. Then we can talk about probably this was supposed to be done May 20th. So are you sure you want to save? You are trying to move a task before a task. I can say yes. There is no problem. It is the one to start here. So we start here moving this way. In May. So we have our timeline there. So it's also nice for presentation. I normally like this system because of presentation. So everybody can be able to see when the project will start, all the activities in the timeline, the date, and when the project will end. So it is much clearer when it is on the timeline. and even the name of the project. If you want to print, if you want to export it, you can simply export it the way you want. Always remember that this program normally give you 1,000,001 options. Let's export it and see. So I pick this, I put it on my desktop. Let's see what it's going to give us. I'll put it in PowerPoint for presentation. So we open the document. Remember, it's a PowerPoint, so it's going to open definitely a PowerPoint for presentation. So project name, you adjust it. Remember, there is need for you to adjust it. The need assessment, these are the activities. Remember, I had put a photo. Always remember, if you have photos, just put them for the sake of reporting. So need assessment doesn't have what? Activities. Remember, these are major phases. And we have a phase up to number 11. So if we have an activities, resources, everything is supposed to be under each and every slide. The first slide is the introduction part of the project, and you can be able to see that I have an image there. I can simply adjust it the way I want. I can change this title and put probably a different font to fit my report. Probably I'm explaining to the project manager the title of the project, probably the phases and so forth. So everything that you put in the system, you can be able now to present it. I think I have made your work easier. Engineers and project managers, your work is now easier. It is now up to you now to implement projects and make sure that everything is on there. Everything has been put into the system. I have come to the end of my training for the 2 softwares in project management. Joyce, I have come to the end of the training. Gloria, I have come to the end of the training. Geoffrey, the same. I have come to the end of the training of the softwares. Is there any question as far as the 2 softwares are concerned? Can you be able now to handle project using these softwares? Geoffrey, if you find yourself in an engineering firm, you are being told now to come up with a project plan. Are you able to do that confidently? Very good. Gloria, are you able to do that? Joyce, are you able to do that? Very good, very good. Me, I have come to the end of the training. That is what you are supposed to learn throughout. I've made sure that I have exhausted everything. So the remaining part is for you people. So I'm going to send the assignment because it is a requirement that you do the assignment. You complete the assignment on time so that you can also get your certificates on time. So if there is somebody who has a balance, make sure that you clear the balances. If you don't have balance, do the assignment, wait for the certificate after you have successfully submitted your assignment. So you'll get your assignment through your email. Make sure that you do it before Monday. You have the whole of this week. It is a practical assignment. Note that it is a practical assignment. So make sure that you do it. So each and every software has a question. Mindview has a question, and also Microsoft Project has a question. So once you complete the question, that is what really proves that you have learned. Otherwise, I wish you good night. Thank you very much, sir. Kindly share the recordings for Mindview. Definitely, I will. I will have to share. I will have to share the recordings. I have them.